Morning, guys. So I'm just getting out to the barn to milk cows. It's a cold one. Might be 3 degrees right now. It's supposed to get down to about 0 by sunrise. It's about as cold as we get around here. Yesterday morning we had a little bit of trouble with a couple things freezing up. It's even a little bit colder this morning, so we ran this little heater at the end of the parlor just to help keep it above freezing in the pit. We have a big ceiling fan in here. We just run on low. That helps push the heat down. It's supposed to be floor heat, but the floor heat doesn't work in this section very well, or at all. Works up there in the office and stuff. So we have this curtain at the back of the parlor, closed between milkings, but then we have to open it to get the cows through, so we definitely lose some heat once we're milking. I just raised this curtain to head height. Definitely losing heat, but the nice thing is we'll get a bunch of cows in there. We have the diesel heater running. Keeps the temperature up pretty good. So right now is when I think a bed pack is ideal because you have some heat coming off the pack. You can see it's just steaming. I think the cows like that. Hoping we don't have any new calves this morning. It's not a great day to be born. We had 2 calves born yesterday afternoon. They're actually doing well. I'd like to have one of those calf warmers. You can stick a new calf into it. It helps dry them out and warm them up after they're born. Head out and get pen 1. This barn is not really designed for this type of weather. Once it gets this cold, our slatted floors become useless. When order starts to freeze up, there's just no place for it to go. Can't fall through. If you watch Sask Dutch Kid up in Canada, they get weather like this a lot more often and even colder. And their barn is completely sealed, insulated, I believe, the walls and the ceiling. They have some mechanical ventilation, but it keeps a lot more heat in the building. The cows make a lot of heat, but this barn, we have a ridge vent that's open all the time, so all the heat's just gonna work its way out the top. And the side walls, the curtains are closed, but there's still a gap at the top of the wall there, out underneath the overhang, so cold air makes its way in easily. We can at least stop the wind with all the curtains if it's windy out. I'm gonna start cleaning the stalls. I want a bed this morning. I'm just gonna drag the manure off the beds. Stand in front of the heater for a minute. My hands got cold out there in about 5 minutes. Kind of a wimp, I guess, but it's freezing. Come on, girls. Step up, girls. Come on. 12, 13. Come on, girls. I get 14 with pen 1. These are first lactation heifers. Probably time to turn this off. A little trouble with these future cow brushes, the dip freezing a little somewhere in the line. This one's struggling a little bit to get going. There we go. I think we're good now. I always feel a little bad for the first side of cows because the milkers are pretty cold before the milk starts running through them. First two sides are milked. I'm about to go get group 2. Before I do that, I want to start up the skid loader. Let it warm up for a bit. I think it'll start, but we don't normally get 0-degree temps. Oh no. This thing's a beast. Super reliable. The cows aren't really bothered by this weather. The biggest thing about it that they don't like is just the frozen manure they have to walk on. It's definitely not as comfortable for their feet, because this floor, you got a manure patty that turns into rock. This area here, it's kind of all mushed together, so they get around pretty good, I think. Usually the inside of the pen near the feed alley is a little bit better. The stalls still are comfortable and dry, so they can lay down. These water troughs, there's no heater or anything. I was showing this a couple videos ago, I guess. Well, that's all frozen shut, but there's a little bleeder valve in there. Lets a little bit of water flow constantly, so that way this hose isn't going to freeze up. And there's some buffer room here, so it's not spilling out of the trough, even though we're letting water run. After a while it will start to overflow and drain out, but it doesn't waste a lot of water. Of course, you got some ice all in front of the trough because they splash a little bit out. So I'm going to open up this door in the corner to get into bed. Feeders are still running. I guess they don't mind cold temps. This outside alley is the worst. We're gonna scrape these floors during the afternoon milking. Just do it once a day. We can keep after it. Did it yesterday afternoon. Go girls. Gotta spend a second in front of the heater. So I don't dislike cats, but we're almost getting to the point where we have too many cats around here. Definitely still below freezing in the pit. We're having trouble with the future cow brushes icing up a little bit. If I can pull this heater a little closer. the last cow from pen 2. I gotta chase her out, switch the gate. First side of pen 3 about to leave. It's right about 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside now. About 6 a.m. It's kind of funny, we had the hottest summer on record this past summer, and now this winter's been one of the coldest, at least in the last handful of years. The last 2 winters have been extremely mild, so we just haven't been seeing weather like this in a while. So I got that gate open. We're gonna bed pen 3 and pen 4 once I get pen 4 out. We're done crossing the middle of the barn, so I'm gonna scrape this up and see if we have a collision. This robot's set to run usually after this gate is closed, but we're a little behind schedule this morning. This just isn't good. That is not comfortable to walk on for cows. This north side of the barn is even worse than the other side. My dad's out now. He just brought the special needs over. Closed the curtain for a little bit to help keep it warm in here. Definitely running below freezing in the parlor. These water valves froze up. Doesn't work. So these future cow brushes, keeping them rolling now. There are 2 sides of special needs cows and milk. Get them done and get things closed up in here as soon as we can. Okay, I'm letting out the first side of pen 5. It's amazing the difference having this curtain down makes. Spreading some ice melt back here. Get the water coming out of the parlor and everything freezes up. We're realizing our main well isn't running right now. We have 2 wells that feed this barn. There's one that does most of the work. This is our main well right here. And look at the control box there to see if we can figure anything out. So we can hop down in this pit and see if stuff's frozen.
Yeah, just let it go. I don't know if that's the same as it is normal.
9 DP.
And just see what that gauge is. I couldn't tell if it's up or down.
Well, it looks like it's down at 0 from here.
There's a control wire.
Yeah.
Little control wire that goes down to like a little stainless transducer. And that might have froze.
Okay.
And it's saying 90 pounds. That's 90 pounds.
So can I just put hot water over that thing or not really?
No. It's electric. You can't do that.
Okay. Well, that was just a question. I mean, I wasn't
No,
really...
I understand. No, what I would do is turn the electric off to the pump.
Yeah.
And just water, and then turn the pump back on.
Yeah, this is the first time we've had an issue with this in 3 years. It's about 4 feet underground there. I guess it normally stays warm enough in there. We stuck that heater in there. We're gonna let it run for 15 minutes and then try to start it up. You can see the water pressure's up now on the gauge, so I think we got it thawed out. Dad's gonna turn the breaker back on and see if things start pumping. Everything's working. We got water pressure again. The reason we still had pressure to wash down is because we have a couple big tanks that the well slowly fills up, and then a big well pump right up here at the barn just to run the big parlor hoses and the couple of hoses in the parlor. The cow water troughs also get filled out of those 2 tanks, so everything was good on that end, but eventually those tanks would have gotten empty and then we would have had no water at all. The well was running overnight, but then it just quit this morning, I guess, when it got really cold. Down in our heifer barn, we got 4 watering troughs in this barn, and they do have electric heaters in them. 3 of them are good, but this one, the second one, is frozen. Just gonna get some hot water. They're working at the afternoon milking now, so I'm gonna scrape these floors. It works out well if we just do this once a day. Take a few scoops out and then it doesn't get as deep. Don't get too fancy with it, just get the majority of it out and let the cows back in. Probably close these gates before I let the cows back though. Threw a little bit of manure on the beds, just gotta scrape that off. There we go. See, on the ends we got a little bit more ice. It's a little bit slick, but it's not too bad. It's actually a really nice day today. Tons of sunlight, it's nice. It's getting up to a high of about 15 today. I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the second half of the barn in a little bit. I wanna scrape out the dry cow barn as well then. This barn's open on the south side, which I guess it gets a little bit colder, but it's really not that bad. There you go, ladies. It's a little better, nicer for walking. Still got water.